support, please record the session, please put it online, please mute yourself. So here it is. What exactly is Azure Service Bus? This Azure Service Bus, if you ask me in simple words, it is nothing but it is a sophisticated queue, right? So I'm going to go and delete all this. So Azure Service Bus is a sophisticated queue. So if you remember, we talked about so I can see some already the chat window out there. People saying, is it an extended version of queues? Yes, it is an extended version, but lot of with lot of other things, for example, like publisher subscriber mechanism. So if you look at Azure queues, in simple queues, right? There is a sender. The sender sends a message to the queue. The message is there in your pipeline. There is a receiver who receives it, and the receiver receives it in a FIFO format. So first in will be the first out, right? So that's a very simple Azure queues, what it is. But now think about it. You want to have some kind of these kind of scenarios where you say, okay, there is a sender, he sends a message, and then there are 10 subscribers out there. So there is a receiver 1, yes, as Ramesh sir has already pointed out, receiver 2, receiver 3. So he wants to also receive it, he wants to also receive it, and he wants to also receive it, right? The size of the message. So this is, you can think about, this is your Azure simple queue storage, right? And this is your Azure Service Bus. And adding to that, there are a lot of other things, guys, a lot of other things. For example, dead queues. You want that, the queues should be dead after some time. You want the size of the queue. For example, here the size of, I exactly don't remember, but the size of the queues is around something around 8 GB or something. But here you can have size of the, above 50 GB. So the queue size can also be very large. So we can think about that Azure Service Bus is enterprise queuing, right? While Azure queues, if you have like 2 applications, they want to talk to each other, good. You have a what you call a website, and there is another website, they want to talk to each other, good. But now you have a very big infrastructure where you say he sends a message, it goes to 10 people, right? And then the size of the queues are bigger, and you want to go and start limiting the time, you want to go ahead and do a lot of things, then the answer is Azure Service Bus, right? So what I feel is that Azure Service Bus will be very less used, because enterprise level messaging queuing, the need is very niche out there. It is not a very big need. Most of the needs are like simple, one-to-one. So this publisher subscriber model, as someone said, right, Ramesh sir said right here. So these are publisher and these are the subscriber. This kind of queuing model, you do need it, but the scenarios are very less, right? Okay. Now let me go ahead and create an Azure Service Bus out here, and let me talk about it. Now, before I do that, so by Azure Service Bus, you can do both the things. You can do simple queuing. So when it is a simple queuing, that means there is a sender, queues, receiver, right? If you want to do complex queuing, the publisher subscriber, then what you need to do is you need to go ahead and create something called as like a topic. This is termed as a topic. So a topic means, it's the queue message, what you have, right? So you'll have a topic, and to this to this topic, you will have subscribers, subscription channels, saying, okay, so these are the subscribers, right? And these are the, so once you send a message to this topic, it goes to all of these subscribers, right? So let me also see if I can open up the home page of Azure Service Bus of Microsoft documentation. Azure Service Bus. Nowadays MSDN has gone off. What is that? Okay, Azure Service Bus. So that's the doc.microsoft.com. So okay, so that's Azure Service Bus. And if you look at this, simple queuing, sender, receiver. Look at this, complex message queuing. Yeah, like Kafka, yes. But remember, all this RabbitMQ and etc. also, they are good, but I'm not sure they are. RabbitMQ is there. Yes, RabbitMQ does have that publisher subscriber model. I agree to it. But this has much more than that. When you see all the features, you will understand it. So you can see a sender, and this is a topic, and these are the receivers out here. So all these are queues, but the receivers are listening to specific subscription. So there are 3 subscriptions out here, right? Topics. Okay. So you can see here, there are a lot of advanced features, scheduled delivery. You want to deliver after 10. You want to defer the delivery. You want to do batch delivery. You want to have a dead letter queue. Means, if let us say that the message cannot be processed and sent to someone, then what should you do? Do you want to remove it? Do you want to inspect them? These kinds of things are not available in simple Azure queues, right? So also let me show here something. I like one of the diagrams, which they had. Must be I can show you that diagram. Yeah, this diagram. I really like this diagram. This is a messenger here, the message sender, who can be a web app, it can be a mobile app, it can be a service, it can be a console application, it can be .NET, it can be Java, whatever, right? He sends up to a topic. This topic has subscriptions. Inside the subscription, you have queues and you have receivers, and this whole thing belongs to a service bus message namespace. So whenever you're creating this thing, there is a service bus namespace, right? So with all this, now let us go ahead and create a simple Azure service bus, and let us do both the examples. So let us create a simple queue. So let us go ahead and let's create this simple queue like this, and then afterwards we will go ahead and create a queue by using topics and subscription, means publisher subscriber, right? So I'm going to go now here to Azure service bus. So here it is. I've logged into Azure. People who are new to Azure, you don't have to really worry. If you want to go ahead and do anything, you want to go ahead and add a virtual machine, type your virtual machine, get started. You want to add SQL server, get started. You want to add Oracle, you want to know. So you just go ahead and type things out here and you get the thing, right? So I'm going to go and say service bus. So there it is, service bus. Let's create it. Remember, guys, what is the best way in case if you have done a bit of Azure now, let us say if you have looked into even 3-4 hours of tutorial. After that, if someone says, okay, like if you say that I want to learn service bus, go to Azure, click on service bus. You don't even have to read an article, right? Just must be you can read a paragraph, and that's how I do. And then start filling the text boxes. And each one of these text boxes already has an explanation out here. So you can see here, this is a pricing tier out here. For example, let us say I select out here, let us say basic, or let's say I say premium. So you can see it in the premium. Now there are something here, something called as message units. So like what is a message unit? It is there in the help file out here. What is this namespace redundant? There is small help out here, right? So once you are having the basic understanding of Azure, just go ahead and start filling things out there, right? So I'm going to go here and say that this is, let's say, Questpond service bus. So you can see here it will be questpond.servicebus.windows.net. So that's going to be the namespace inside which all my queues, my topics, my subscription will be created, right? So that is a namespace here. We are creating a namespace. Now, there are 3 levels of pricing tier, which is given in Azure basic. In basic, you do not get topics and subscription. In basics, a lot of things actually goes off. You do not get zones. You do not get redundant storage and backups and all that, right? In standard and premium, you do get it. So if you look at standard, you will get all those things. And if you look at premium, you get something here more extra called as messaging units, right? Let me explain what exactly is messaging units. So when you go and you create a service bus, right? Azure service bus, and you create a queue. So let us say you have, right, so I can see some questions out there. My eyes keep looking at the questions as well, right? Okay, let me answer that question. So yes, we have basic. In basic, you will just get queues. Someone said, right? Then we have, what is that? Advanced? No, sorry, not advanced. One is we have basic, one is we have standard, right? So other one is we have standard. In standard, you get both queues, simple queues, as well as topics, means publisher subscriber, right? And in this premium, you get multi-core feature. In this premium, when I click on premium, you get this messaging units. Messaging unit means, let us say you create a message queue out here, MSM queue. This is a simple queue. This queue will be processed, or let's say you have 2 queues. Assume you have 2 queues out here. If you don't select, the premium one, it's possible that both of these queues are processed by the same core. So a messaging unit is nothing but, where a dedicated core, a dedicated RAM, an isolated unit is assigned for the for the whole thing, right? So basically, it's if you have more load, then you should probably think about the premium, right? So if you go and see out here, if you go and see this messaging unit, it says that, so like how much, like, so you want like 1 core, you want 2 core, or you want to be on the shared, right? So at this point, what I'll do is I'll just select standard for now, because even if I demo you using premium, I cannot show you that which message is on which core, right? So must be you can switch to premium, in case if you have a big load out there, right? Resource groups. So resource groups, again, remember we talked about it. Resource group help to logically group all your resources. So for people who are new to Azure, for you guys, these resources are nothing but it helps you to logically group all the things what you bought in Azure. If you have bought a virtual machine, if you have bought an SQL server, you can create a resource called as US project resource. You can create a resource called as UK project resource, right? So this is just for people who are new to Azure. So here it is location where you want to create these queues. I'll just say US and create. So now this goes ahead and creates a questpon.servicebus.net, Windows service.net REST kind of a service from where you can see all your Azure service bus as well. So that's what the URL where it has created it, right? And you can see deployment in progress. So guys, any question on how to create the service bus using Azure? I can see that the deployment is in progress, so it can take some time. So must be I can go and I can start seeing some questions out here. Also, I pasted some. Yeah, Divesh, if you have any question about your career, please send a mail. We will discuss it one-to-one later on Skype or somewhere, right? I can understand now. In this grim situation, the career problems are more than technical problems. But I would suggest everyone just start, keep reading, keep upgrading yourself. So here it is. I publish a subscriber. What is that? Okay, I'll come to dead queues later on. Is same as ESB? Yes. Yes, Ramesh. It is same as the enterprise service bus, right? It is an ESB on cloud. I'm not sure if WhatsApp is using this. Can be. So. Like RabbitMQ, yes. Like Kafka, yes. Like SQS, yes, absolutely. Microsoft copies someone, right? So basic, yeah. So basic is queues. SSL is available, yes. SSL is available, right? Right. So I can see a lot of more questions out there, guys. When I show some more demos. So here it is. Do we have two types of service bus, like Windows Service Bus 2.0 and Azure? No, we have on the cloud. We do have this. I'm not sure if you have this Windows Enterprise Service Bus. I have not heard this word, but I don't know if there is something like that. But on the service bus side, on the Azure, we have only Azure Service Bus. At least that's what I'm aware of, right? So Windows Service Bus, I have not looked into. I'm not aware of this Windows ESB, right? Is it an extended version of Service Bus? Yes. You can say that it's more of an extended version of queuing, message queuing. I have not worked with Windows Enterprise Service Bus. I'm so sorry, but this I do know that MSMQ, which I was using, the RabbitMQ, which I was using, Azure Queues, which it's an extended version of that. I can say it's a publisher subscriber model. Same as ESB, yes, it's the same as ESB. I'm not sure if WhatsApp uses that. I'm not sure about it. SSL is available absolutely whenever you create this service bus out here. So let us see, deployment succeeded. So this is available on SSL, yes. So if I go and see, you can see my service bus has been created, everything inside resource 1, and that's my service bus. So this service bus, you can see out here, can you see the host name? If you go and try to browse out here, it is on SSL. Without SSL, no service of Azure will be exposed out. SSL is mandatory, right? And please note they charge for SSL as well. It is a part of the bill. Okay, so here it is. So we have this whole thing out here. First thing, a lot of small menus at the right-hand side, left-hand side, I'm sorry, and let's focus on 2 menus. So you can see here, you can see over here, if you want to create a simple queue, you can use this menu, queues. If you want to create a publisher subscriber model, then you will be using these topics out here, right? Second, when any client comes and connects to these queues or topics, right, whatever you are having here, we need to have some kind of a key. So you can see there is a shared access policy. This shared key allows us to connect to the queues to the topics. So you can see here there is a shared key, and the shared key is given to your .NET client. It is given to your Angular client. So whenever they are making a call, we need to just ensure that this shared key is available. What happened? Why is it so slow? Okay, so there it is. Shared. This is a shared key, and you can see that there is a primary key and there is a secondary key, and you can see that it says that if anyone who is using this key will be able to send the message, will be able to listen to the message. Also, he will be able to manage these messages because this is a key which is there. So in case if you want to create a new one, you can go and you can add here and say that, okay, this key is for people. For example, I can go and I say, okay, add a key out here. You can see, give a policy name and say that over here, only the client can send messages, and only give him that connection string, right? So at this moment, I will just use this shared key. I will not create any new key out there, right? So here is the queues. So this is the queues out here. So let us go ahead and create a queue. So let's do this demo. Let's go ahead and create a queue, and let us post using .NET to this queue from the client, right? So I'm going to go and create a queue. Remember, this is queue. Queue means one sender, one receiver, right? Topics. If I create something by using topics, that means we are talking about the publisher subscriber model, right? So this is the queue demo out here. So queue name. So I'll just say Q1, simple. Max queue size. You can see here now. Previously, when I was demoing you Azure queues, right? Over there, these things were not there. It was not so much in detail. You can see here now, because this is Azure Service Bus enterprise level, he has given you more features out here. For example, message time to live, right? How long the message will stay in the queue before it is expired, or so for example, somebody sends a message to the queue and you say, this will stay in the queue for 14 days. Remember, queues are not permanent storage. They are temporary storage. They are like a temporary line or a queue, which should have an expiry. It is not a database, where things are persistent for a long time, right? So it also gives you here saying that how much time you will say that after this it will go into a dead queue. A dead queue is not really a dead message. Is not really a dead message is not a delete. A dead message is a message when any client reads it, he will never read the dead message. Remember, in queues, when you say something is deleted, so they don't delete it directly. What they do is they move it to a dead queue. Dead queue means it is not active, but you can see here, you can enable dead lettering on the queue after a message expiration. So you can see here, okay, this is dead queue, and this will get deleted. This will get expired after again certain time, right? So those also are there. Enable duplicate detection. So do you want to have, if let us say there are two messages posted out there, and what if both the messages are posted by the same client at the same time with the same data? Then do you want to just show that, oh, like looks like you have made a big for loop and the same data you are sending, right? So that's what it is. Log duration. Yes, log duration, Amit. So log duration here means, so in a queue, so here's it, log duration. Remember, all these concepts are part of queue. This is not really about Azure. So log duration means, for example, now you have a queue out there, right? Somebody has posted message 1, somebody has posted message 2, right? Now there is a client 1, he gets hold of message 1, right? And he's doing some processing out there. At that time, client 2 comes and says, oh, like I want to also get this message 1. So now you want to say, no, like once the message has been locked by some client, nobody else can process it. Think about the real world scenario. In a real world scenario, when you have a ration card like queue, or when you have some queue of a bank, that same person does not come again and again. If he has to come, then he has to come again from the back, isn't it? So you don't process the same person again and again. You process him and you move it out, right? You either remove him, you either put him at the side, you can say dead queue. So the queues of software are also the same thing. So when this queue is getting processed, right, if there is another counter, this person is not available for this counter, right? So that's why in queue we have this locking period where it says that when somebody is processing the queue, this C2, if he does a read, he will get this value and not this. So that's what the locking period is. So you can see it is 0 at this, it's 30 seconds. So when somebody reads the queue, and if he does not go and delete it, or if he does not go and move it to the dead queue for 30 seconds, that will be locked, right? If he moves to the dead queue, it's gone. Nobody can read it. If it is dequeued, it's gone, right? But if it is not, then 30 seconds, other people would be able to read it, right? We will talk about the sessions and partitioning later on, so for now, let's go and create this queue out here. We will talk about those sessions and partitioning later on. So you can see here now, I have created a Azure service bus with the name Quest Pond, right? So with the name Quest Pond, and in that I have created a queue called as Q1, right? So I'm going to go now to my Visual Studio, and let us go ahead and create a simple console application which can post kind of a hello world to this queue out here, right? Now I'm going to go and start using .NET Core. So now .NET Core is already coming in. So henceforth, any demo which we do on Quest Pond, we have decided that we will only be doing the demos in .NET Core, right? Until we have some technical issues, that's a different thing. So I'm going to go and create a simple project out here, which is the .NET Core. So .NET Framework, we are trying to just see that Quest Pond also gets aligned with the Microsoft's new thought process. So here it is. This is console queue or Azure Service Bus ASB. Create. Okay. So that's the first thing. Okay. Also, what I've done is side by side, I have kept my code also here so that I don't keep struggling in my class as usual. I always struggle in my class sometimes to get this code running. So I have kept a source code out here, and so in case if I want to copy paste it, I will use it from here, right? But the first thing is we need to go and add or refer the nugget packages, for the Azure Service Bus. So I'm going to go and refer the Azure Service Bus nugget, NuGet. How do you spell that, right? So I'm going to go here and say Azure Service Bus. Now remember that, don't get confused. You'll be always be getting 2 downloads in your NuGet package, NuGet package. So you can see here, this is the .NET Framework. Look at this. When I click on the first one, you can see there are 2 Azure Service Bus out here. So don't get confused. This is the .NET Framework 4.6.2. You can see I'm highlighting out there. My mouse is moving. So this is not what I need to use. I will be using Azure Service Bus .NET Standard, the .NET Core. This is what it is. So that's the Azure Standard, right? So whenever now henceforth, you will always see there are 2 versions, at least for libraries, which are there for a long time. So I'm going to go and install this Azure Service Bus because this is for .NET Core. So I'll just install this, right? So first thing is you need to get reference to the Azure Service Bus namespace so that you can go and start connecting to the queues. You can go and start posting and so on. So there it is. I'm connecting. Now, so let's go back to the code out here until this gets installed. It takes some time. Fine. So you can see here, let us say if you want to go and send a simple message out here, right? The first thing is you will need the connection string. This connection string is nothing but that key. Remember that key and the whole thing. That is what you need. Second is you need the queue name, that which is the queue where you want to go and post it. So what you will do is if you want to go and connect to a simple Azure Service Bus queue, you will create a queue client. If you want to go and post it to a topic, publisher subscriber model, then you will go and you will create a topic client, right? Very easy. So let's go back here. I hope, okay, there it is. I accept, and let us go and install this in our program. So you can see here that namespace or that references of DLLs are now there in my code out here. So you can see here in the dependencies. Let me just check Microsoft Azure Service Bus. Let me do like this. I think my fonts are very. Guys, you need to point me out because I'm not sitting at your end. So sometimes for young people it is good, but if there is some senior out there, for him to get hold of what I'm typing is difficult, right? So you can see I just enlarged things out here. So yeah, I hope that this is good. Is it cutting? Is it cutting the screen? Is it like, is the screen becoming, no? Okay, so this must be, this is better, right? Okay, so good. Okay, so here it is. You can see this Microsoft Azure Service Bus out here. This is good, right? So now first thing, complete queue, queue, I'll say rather, is always asynchronous, right? Is always asynchronous. So the namespaces or the components, you know, which are developed from .NET, they are all async in nature. Why? Because the sender party who is sending the queue, he will send it, and the sender can go and do something else. Probably this sender is not needed also. Afterwards, you know, this is the message. Afterwards, the receiver comes. Sometimes after 2 hours, he can read from the queue. In other words, everything is asynchronous out here. Nobody has to wait for anyone, right? So that's why, you know, when you are using in .NET the Azure Service Bus queue, all the messages by default are async and await. So whenever you're making a call to Azure queues, at least, and not only Azure queues, nowadays I've seen that Microsoft started using the asynchronous nature of programming. So async and await has become nowadays a default kind of method calls, right? So over here now, so first thing, let's go back here. I will go and I will just copy this simple code out here. So if I want to now go ahead and create a message, first thing, let's start over here. So first thing, we need to have our connection string, and we need to have our queue name where we want to go and post it. So I think our queue name was Q1, and because this is all static out here, so we need to just make it static so that the static methods need to can reference from the static variables, right? So now you can see here, this is a simple method out here, and here you can see this is a task. Must be we can have a separate class for async and await, right? So at this moment we'll not go into that. So this is a simple task out here, and so first thing, you know, if I want to go ahead and use first thing, all these message etc. all belong to Microsoft Azure Service Bus. So let us go and put a name. Let us go and reference that. So first thing, I'll go and create. I'll use the interface of IQ client, and let me create a object here, new client, and new queue client, right? And we will pass this connection string, and we will pass this queue name. Very easy, right? Okay, so that is good. And QC and all this encoding etc. is all coming from system.text. Let's ensure all of this is here. What is this error? Does not return all path. QC dot, what is QC? Okay, this also has to be static, right? Okay, task needs a reference of system.threading.task. Yeah. Okay. So you can see I have a very simple message out here, and to post this simple message, I'm creating a queue client. I'm creating a message here called as hello world, whatever you want to say here, right? And then I'm saying send async, right? Now, very quickly, connection string. Let's get the connection string from our thing out here. So let's go to our Azure queues. So I'm going to go back to your, this is the resource. Remember, this is the resource. Inside this, this is the queue. And in this queue, remember we had this, this shared key, the shared policy. So let's try to get the shared policy. Why does it take so time to get the shared policy? Okay, so there it is. Oh. Right. So that is the key out there, but I need the connection string. Where is my connection string? Is my internet slow or is Azure slow? I don't know. So I'll just say here copy. I'll go back to my connection string. I'll just paste it. So this is my key out here, and this key will help me to connect to questpond.servicebus, and I want to go and post this message, hello to Q1. Very easy, right? And what we'll do out here is we'll go and we will invoke this simple message. Now remember that you cannot really invoke the simple message in this way. Why? Because this is async. So what you have to do is you have to say that this is a async task, right? This is an async task, and this is await. We'll talk about async and await later on, but it is for asynchronous mechanism, right? So there it is. So you can see here, the point is, what I'm saying is that the messages have to be invoked in an asynchronous way. What is the difference between primary connection string and secondary connection string? Nothing. It's just two connection strings. Sometimes, probably you want to give different connection strings to different people, and you want to expire them separately, right? Right. We'll look into async and await later on. Must be we can have a separate class for that, guys. At this moment, let us not focus on it. Just send a mail at the back office. I will see that we can have a separate class only for async, await, delegates, right? Console.read out here. Can we create the queue dynamically? I can see some questions. Yes, you can go ahead and say create a queue, delete a queue, the whole queue, whole topic. You can do it dynamically. So let's go and run this. And so incompatibility with third-party networking. Looks like the queue has gone. Let me see. Did the queue went? I'm not sure. Let me go, and I have put a debug point out there. I'm not sure if the queue has been sent. Okay, there it is. You can see this code has been executed, send async. So must be the queue has been sent to the server. So what I'll do is I'll go back to the server and let us check if we have some data in the queue. So you can see here, I'm going to go to the queues out here. I think I ran the application twice. So in my queues, I should see 2 message count or something. You can see in the active message count. You can see in the active message count, it has shown me that there are two messages which has been posted into the Azure queues out here, right? So guys, any questions first thing on how to go ahead, how to create a queue, how to use .NET and connect and post it to the Azure queues? So I can see that there are lots of questions out here, and let me take these questions. Really, I should have one lecture only for questions. Okay. How do I take so many questions? Can I just copy this? They should have a copy paste, straightforward copy paste. Okay, guys, I'm sorry if your name has been exposed out here, because there are so many questions out there. It is becoming difficult for me to scroll and read the boxes. So do we have an retry mechanism? Can we move the dead queue back to active queue? Yes, you can. So you have, one is you can do it from .NET also. Second, that have an expiry also. So within that period of dead queue, you can go back and say that move it back, right? So yes, you can do that. Must be I can give you the method names, which helps you to do it. But yes, you have the option of moving the dead queue, but the dead queue should not go into a delete, a physical delete. If there is a physical delete, then after that, those queues are not available, right? So yes, possible. Remember, guys, for people who are still not knowing what is dead queue is a queue. You put a message in the queue, the receiver is not available, and it is there just lying. The receiver did not came for 14 days. So after 14 days or whatever, some time, you want to say that this queue, why is it pending? Must be it should just go ahead and we should go ahead and delete it. So a dead queue is not a delete, but it just says that keep it at the side. But after some time, even that dead goes for a physical delete, right? So a dead queue is a queue which has not been processed for a long time. Which protocol does it follow? I need to really check this, but I need to check this. I am not really sure about the protocol of MSMQ, right? I will check and get back, not sure. Advantage of service bus with respect to MSMQ or maintaining tables using data structures. No, data structure is different. So forget about data structure. That is completely different. But as I've said, that service bus is enterprise. If you want to do publisher subscriber, madam, subscriber, what do you call architecture? I'm sorry, publisher subscriber model. While MSNQ is simple, you have one subscriber, you have one publisher. Okay. So service bus should have a specific reason why you are using it. So until you don't have an enterprise requirement, I don't think that you should be using service bus. You can just use simple MSNQ. Can we host service bus in dedicated VMs instead of serverless platform? Actually, service bus comes as a software as a service. So service bus, I don't think you can install it outside Azure. For example, you cannot install Azure tables outside. It is a part of the Azure framework. So Azure service bus, I'm not really sure if you can. I need to check the documentation, but I don't think they have given a setup out to install it. For example, there are some PaaS out there which they are giving as a separate installation. For example, the service fabric, but a service bus I'm not really aware of. So you cannot use it without Azure. I want to publish a message for every 1 minute, and I have like 20 subscribers, but only few subscribers are online in a specific time and few subscribers are not consuming. So in such cases, service bus will overflow with messages. Okay, so good question out here. So what you're saying is that a lot of messages are coming in your queue and some of the subscribers don't even come online and they do process it, right? Then there is a dead queue. That's what the dead queue is for, right? So must be that dead queue should be, either you can then say that the dead queue time is very small. For example, if you remember when I created the queue, it says, what is your dead queue? So must be you can keep the dead queue for a minute or must be for an hour. So after an hour, that message becomes dead and it goes for deletion. So must be you can use that. What all platform does it support at this moment? Just Azure. Azure Service Bus is part of Azure. You cannot install in Windows. What type of message format can we leverage? Binary, anything. So if you look at that new message, you will see that you can put any format out there, an array, a binary, and a string or whatever. What is the log duration? Depends. If you remember whatever we have given over there, when I created the queue out there. So very quickly, when we create a queue out there, so whatever time you give into that UI is your time. Very quickly, you can see here, guys, this is the log duration. So in this case, it is 30 seconds by default, right? And somebody asked like a message time to live, the dead queues, right? So this is the dead queue out here. Okay, let me go back. For long running transactions, how to handle asynchronous call for long running transactions? For long running transactions, well, then the queue lock will be huge. If you have a long running transaction, what you should do is you should put a big queue lock out here. This lock duration should be a large amount so that the other people cannot access that. So failover, load balancer, yes, everything is out here. Remember, if you select premium, it does have the zones. So the same Azure service bus will get created in US, in UK. So you will have redundant redundant support as well, right? So, but that is only for premium support. It does not go even for standard. Service account not required. No, you don't need a service account. You just need that key. Okay, fine. Right. So guys, I will delete this till here because I also want to do the demonstrations. Because I want to at least do the demonstration for topics. So let me go back here because I did not talk about the topic still. Okay, first let us go ahead and read this. Let us do the other example. We want to go ahead and read this, right? So to read it, again, the same thing. If you want to go and read it, you can see here, you will say here, okay, let me do this. The receiving message or the reading part is it is a bit tedious actually. So you can see here I've created a receive message, right? So first thing for the receive message is that you need to have an exception receive handler, saying that if there is an exception, what should happen? And so I'll just go and create this receive handler out here, which is the exception receive handler, where I can handle exceptions. And the second important thing is you need to have, once you can see that this is QC. This QC is nothing but my IQ client. this QC has a register message handler. What is the register message handler? When there is some data in the queue, this message handler will trigger automatically. You will say, okay, like somebody has put a message in the queue, so I don't need to keep doing a for loop and ping saying that are you available, are you available. We don't have to do all that. We can just give a kind of a delegate out here. So you can see here, over here I've said message handler. So what is a message handler? It is process message async. So this is the process message async, and let me take all these namespaces out here. So this is the message handler out here. So when there is a message, this will fire, and once this fires, in this I get this message object, and from that message object I can read the body, right? So for receiving the message, you need to use the register message handler, and you need to register a function delegate, right? And that delegate will be called when any queue, when any data comes in the queue, right? So for example, now I will try to go and receive the message. Let me go and try to remove this, and let me try to invoke receive message. So in receive message, we have two messages out here, and let me remove this async because I don't have anything async at this moment. So just simple static void main, right? So look at this receive message. This receive message will go ahead and he will trigger this function out here, right? So the receiving part of the Azure service bus is a bit complicated. You need to create a delegate, and you need to call the receive message handler. So let us see that, does he go and receive the message hello one, or I don't know what I posted, hello, right? So hello. So there it is. Oh, you know what? All is asynchronous, right? So if it is asynchronous, I should make, oh, okay, I should make the application wait. So it is already there. So that code is there. So must be we should wait for some time for the message to read. So you can see here, that's my console, and you can see the message received asynchronously. So this is the body. Remember, it is FIFO. You can see in the body, he is sending a byte array, but when I display it on the screen, I should see hello. So if you see out here, this is hello. Now you can see this is the second message, first in, first out, FIFO, right? Second message, again body. So again the same thing. And I don't know why it did not display the second message. Looks like horrible formats out there. Hang on. The message must be there. There should be two. Oh, there are two hellos. So this is sequence number 2. This is sequence number 1, right? So now if I go to my queues out there, I should see that my queues have become 0. Remember, we had 2 queues out there, and my active message count should be 0, because once the queue is read from the service bus, it becomes 0, right? So that's how you go ahead and you read the queues out there. Good. Now guys, we have like 15 minutes out here more. So what I will do is, let me go and demonstrate to you the second type of queue, what we have, publisher subscriber model. Then I will go back and see the questions, right? Or else what will happen is, I will go and see the questions, and then we just miss these topics out, right? So you can see topics. So you can see now this is the second part. This demonstration is done queues. Second part is topics. Remember, topics I have said is publisher subscriber model. You go ahead, you publish a topic, and in that topic you will say, okay, we have subscriber 1, we have subscriber channel 2, we have subscriber 3. So somebody can subscribe to subscriber 1, somebody can subscribe to subscriber 2, and you can say that for this subscriber 2, these are the new rules. For this subscriber 3, these are the new rules. So you can go and you can manage the publisher subscriber model out here. So I'm going to go and create a topic. So let's say T1. Again, all this thing, the same thing. Enable duplication, enable partitioning. This is very interesting. If you enable partitioning, what it does is it says that, okay, let's say you have 10,000 queues. So 5,000 queues into one partition and 5,000 queues into another partition. So you definitely need to also provide the partition key, saying that 2009 queues and 2010 queues and 2011 queues, or 2020 queues and 2019 queues. So you can go and you can create queues in partitions as well, right? So I'll just go and create a topic T1. So remember, we have a correspond service bus. In that we have a simple queue called as Q1. I think I created. Why has it become so slow? Q1, and then we have topics, and inside this topics, this is for publishers. Inside the same thing we have T1, which is the topics. Now inside the topics, I need to go and I need to create subscriptions, right? So I'll say, okay, this is, let's say, subscriber 1. So I can go and say this is subscriber 1. So for subscriber 1, what is the maximum number of deliveries? You can say that, okay, this is a subscriber. To him, I will deliver only 10 messages. So you can go and you can configure those as well. For now, I'll just say 1. Auto delete after idle. So if there is a message which is lying for 14 days, after that, it will go and auto delete. You can also say never auto delete. If you say never auto delete, then it is your responsibility to delete it. The dead letter setting, how much time the queue will go into dead letters, the message lock, and so on. So all the same things what I've discussed out there, right? So I'll just go and create a subscription out here saying sub 1. Create something which I missed out. What happened? Why? Let me see my subscriptions. Okay. Service bus queue, service bus topic. So I'll go to service bus topic. Oh, what happened? Bad gateway. Looks like Azure SLAs are bad. You can see it is taking so much time, right? Looks like something is bad out in Azure out there. So now, if I go ahead and I'm not sure, is my internet on? Guys, can you hear my voice? I should have got a message from Questpond. Yeah, okay. So that means Azure is down. Azure is slow, not me, right? You can see those errors out there saying retry. So something is going bad out there. You can see. I don't know if you have such kind of situations. What you can do is when you have such kind of situation, you can go to monitor. You can't restart Azure, right? Come on, like that's a good thing. No, you can't restart Azure. Over here, we have somewhere. Where do I go and see the downtime? There was a way to see that if this is down or not. Service health. Service issues. You can see there is a service issue out there. Something is not good. And I think I created something in the US Central or somewhere. You can see, it says no service issues. I'm not sure. It says no service issues. Okay, let me go back. Let me try to refresh. I'm not sure. Let me go back out there. Service bus topic. It's live. Okay, good. So let me go and add a subscription to it. I'm so sorry. So subscription 1 auto delete. All this is there. Create. Okay, it's creating. It's very slow. Remember that we have an SLA which is internally signed. Once you go and swipe your credit card, there is an SLA out there saying 99% uptime. So I'm not sure that 99% uptime is not there. Will they give back you the money? I'm not sure, but there is an SLA out there. So you can see I'm creating one subscription out here, and if I want, I can add one more subscription out here. I can do that. Sub 2 and create. Good. So in this now we have 2 subscription out here. You can see down below. This is the topic T1, and look at this sub 1 and sub 2, right? And in this I can go and post. Now if you want to go and post in this, right, so again the first thing, you need that connection. So the connection is already out there. That is a connection. But now you will not use the IQ client, you will use the iTopic client, because now this is a topic, right? So I'll just say TP is equal to new topic client, and it's the same thing. So for the topic client, again, you need the connection string, definitely, but you need the topic name. So my topic name at this, so one is you will need the connection string, and another one you will need, yeah, it is T1. Yes, it is T1, and I want to post it. Yeah, T1. Okay, I'm sorry. The subscription 1 and subscription 2 is for reading, right? So I was thinking, yeah, for posting it, I will just post it to T1. I'm so sorry. What I was thinking, like, I was thinking multiple publisher and multiple subscriber. I don't know why. So there it is. Topic 1. I will just post it to the topic. I'm so sorry. Yeah, let me correct this. So from the publisher, from the sender, we will publish it to topic, which at this moment is T1, and we will, and automatically it will go to subscription 1, it will go to subscription 2, and I don't have subscription 3, right? Now there is a receiver. The receiver comes and says, I want to go and subscribe from subscription 2. He takes data from subscription 2. There is receiver 2, the 3 must be he takes from subscription 1. So the subscription is more on the receiver side, not on the sender side, right? So that's why here we just have to provide the topic. Why? What is this? New is not up. Okay, while it is running, fine, right? So I'll do this, and then let me go and copy this. All these other things are, I think it is all same. Simple topic message, new, to send the message, we will use the TP. So TP dot send a sync, and that's the message. So that's very simple. So we will say here await simple simple topic message. And remember that because this is a await, this has to be an async, and this has to be something like a task. That's the return type for async, right? So now this will go and this will post into the topic, right? So I'll go and say I'll just go and run this, and so there it is running. Did it send the message? T1. I don't know what is happening. Let me go and rerun this. Why is it taking so much time? I think that Azure is damn slow out there. But let us go and do a refresh out here. Let us see. Let us do a refresh. So I'll go to my topics out here. At least I should see if everything goes right. I should see 2 active message count in both the subscriptions. I'm so sorry, guys. For some reason, Azure has become damn slow. I don't see any message count out here. You can see here in both the subscriptions, I don't see any message count out here. Has something gone wrong? If something has gone wrong, it should show as an exception. Simple topic message. It did not invoke that method. Something is out there running. Guys, I think, I just build the solution again. Oh, now it is invoking. Something went wrong out there. So that is a new message. It sends an async out there. It is now going to the Azure service bus into T1, and there it is. So now if I go and refresh, I'm sorry, something went wrong out there. It did not run actually. So now that it has run, must be I can just do a refresh out here to see that do both of our subscription have message count 1. So you can see now that's down below. Look at those messages. Both the subscribers channels have message 1. And then we can go ahead and read the same way how I've read a message client. I can go and individually subscribe to one of the subscription channels and read the message, right? So I will not show that demo now, the demo for reading from from a subscriber, because that the code is almost same, right? So must be you can have a look at the documentation to see it. But I hope that in this 1 hour I have cleared out at least what exactly is Azure Service Bus. So let's quickly, guys, I'll come back to the questions, but very quickly before I come back to questions, let us quickly wrap up this session. So what we did today is we said that Azure Service Bus is sophisticated message queuing. So first thing, it does have something like simple queues, wherein you have just one publisher and you have only one subscriber, right? You can also go and create something called as a topic, wherein the publisher goes and publishes to the topic, and from there it goes to different subscribers, and the receivers have their own way of looking at, right? So that was and then I showed you the code of .NET. This all code I will upload it on QuestPoint VD. Now quickly I will go back to questions now. Questions, let's see. Okay. Yeah, so everything is async, Ramesh sir. Everything is async. Everything is async out there. I don't want my sender to wait. No, it will not wait. Once you call the sender, it won't wait. Once you say async, I'm not sure, Ramesh, what the question is. It will not wait. What is the difference between primary and connections? See, sometimes what happens is you want to give different connection strings to different client and expire them separately. So they have just given you 2 out there. If you want, you can just use one of them. Yeah, we'll see that later on. Can we create queues dynamically? I've said yes. Okay, I think I'm answering all the same questions. Okay, let me go here. Advantage of server, I think I want to publish message for every 1 minute. Okay, this I think answered it. Okay, any restriction on the message type? No, I think I answered all these questions. Let me go back, guys. What is a Skype ID? It is QuestPoint support, but you need to fix an appointment for the Skype. Yeah, the go-to training is a publisher subscriber model at this moment. Okay, guys, lots of questions out there, but it is almost 10 o'clock now, and let me not stress you guys. So what we can do is we can have another session. We can have an advanced session on Azure Service Bus. I'm ready to continue, right? To continue the topic not covered. Okay, fine, Anil, we'll do that. Must be we can have one more session. I will announce the Azure Service Bus session, must be in the coming times. First thing, guys, send up your queries at questpoint@questpoint.com. Skype support very quickly. Can you just stop the recordings now? Let us now